Welcome to the MoxStars podcast. I am Menace, one of your hosts, and I'm here with Flash.
What up?
I accidentally hit both your button and the Dr. Pepper button at the same time.
Very cool.
Very cool. You love Dr. Pepper.
You're like at a Coke freestyle machine in real life.
This is the MoxStars podcast, the number one podcast on the internet for Magic the Gathering and Dr. Pepper. If you'd like to support the show, you can find us on YouTube, where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. We have 546 subscribers. The community continues to grow. You can also support us on all major podcasting platforms, where you can leave us a 5-star review to make us look super duper cool. You can also find us on Patreon. There's the Dr. Pepper button. Oh yeah, become an official Pepperhead for $3 a month. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. You can also support us at the 2-liter tier, like Definitely Jeremy, Poolboy Barry, UWP Quirt, Aaron Becca. That is $10 a month. Get 2 free entries into each of our bi-weekly giveaways, which is happening at the end of this episode. And this week's prize is a mystery. It will be something that I find at MagicCon Las Vegas. You can also support us at the Cherry Vanilla Pepperhead tier, like maybe Anthony, Mono Greg, Jacob Hibbard, Tommy Cypher, K Mr. K, and Will Rule. For $5 a month, get a single entry into each of our bi-weekly giveaways. And you can also support us like Ravenlift. Join the MoxStars Dr. Pepper Lounge. For $50 a month, you get a free hat, 3 entries, which has proven to be a crazy ROI since Ravenlift has won so many giveaways, sitting up there on the throne in the MoxStars Dr. Pepper Lounge and using their imagination to its peak capacity, drinking multiple Dr. Peppers in a sitting to achieve limitless status.
Because it's the limitless pill.
Yes, and imagining themselves dining in the lounge with LeBron James and his fake family at the MoxStars Dr. Pepper, the brunch patio that has the beach front where the water is Dr. Pepper and the crashing waves. You can just hear the sizzle of the carbonation as they crash. You can hear it in your mind right now. I know you can, because you're joining the MoxStars Dr. Pepper Lounge. There are only a few seats left. Jump in, get some hats, get some dubs in the giveaway category, and support the show. All right. On this week's episode, I just have to gloat. I have to gloat a little bit because I was absolutely right about last week's episode. On last week's episode, we talked a little bit about the value of cards as they continue, as they go through their life cycle now with the current cycle and how things are released. We see cards hold less and less value over time. And there was one card that, well, everyone thought was going to be big time money, because it has a really cool word in its name, Mox. And that's Mox Jasper from Tarkir Dragonstorm, the set that everyone has already seemed to have forgotten about because of the release of Final Fantasy. At one point in the release, in the spoiler season for Tarkir Dragonstorm, I had said, wow, Mox Jasper going for $30. The time to buy will be when it is sub 10. It is now a sub $10 card. Can you believe that? For how much hype this card had, that it has finally fallen from grace, and I don't think it's done sliding. It's
hard to enable, right?
Yeah. So it's a 0-drop legendary artifact, so you can only have 1 on the battlefield at any given time. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, activate only if you control a dragon. Here's the thing. The ceiling is very high, right? And it's very open-ended. This is why, this is not financial advice, but if I were a betting man, I would say that $8 or less, if I'm able to purchase it for less than this, I would be buying many of them, because at some point with the way the release schedule is happening, there will be dragons that are released that are either 1-drops or potentially 0-drops. Like, you know, it's like there are changelings that are valuable for Mox Jasper strategies. There are plenty of combo loops for 0-drop, you know, like for donut artifacts to be bounced infinitely, or to generate a certain effect, you know, like Hullbreaker Horror. You can, you know, as long as something is mana positive, you can loop and then bounce everybody's non-lane permanents. So there's a high ceiling for Mox Jasper, and there's a lot of magic left to be had for the future, years and years to come. So now that it's sub $10, we also had this problem with Mox Amber. So now, if you remember Mox Amber, at the release of Dominaria, its original print, there was also this moment where it fell beneath $10. I'm going to need to go, oh, brother, we're going to have to go back for way more than a year. But if you can look at its entire lifespan, even in June 2024, it was below $30. But now it's back up. It's back to $45. At one point, it was sub $10 at release, because this was before the Commander format really blossomed. And I mean, that was, what, 2017? That was when they still weren't releasing Commander decks every 6 weeks. You know, it's like it was one set of Commander decks a year, which, man, what a time to be alive. It was great. You had to just look forward to, like, that was the year Edgar Markov and Inala, God, what else? Arabo also came out. So there was like the cats, the vampires, the wizards, and then there was one more. I can't quite remember what it was. But yeah, that year.
Who else has Eminence?
Yeah, who has Eminence?
That will solve your riddle.
Right. Yeah, someone will think of it. If you know, you can let us know in the comments below on the YouTube channel. That'd be great. That'd be excellent. But, you know, this is an era where, like, yeah, people saw Mox Amber and were like, yeah, you know, it's like if you have your commander, it taps for mana. And then that was the end of the discussion. And then it was like, oh, Rograk is a thing. You know, that was 3 years later. And then all of a sudden, yeah, this is an on average $30 card. I thought for a moment that with the release of like Brothers War, with it getting another reprint, I didn't know if it was a meaningful reprint with like the Antiquities frame and stuff like that, but turns out it wasn't enough, because it's still $45, but it did drop, I feel like, the cost of it significantly. Nope, never mind, I'm wrong. It did not. But yeah, I thought that maybe with the reprint that it would drop Mox Amber down, make it more accessible, but it just did not. So just to show you the value of a 0 mana legendary artifact that is very open-ended, that has room for growth. Am I saying that Mox Jasper is going to be a $45 card that you can bank on in the future? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it is sub $10. It is worth more than $10 with how open-ended Magic the Gathering is in its creation cycle. There are just so many opportunities for dragons that'll be able to land early and then help, like, this artifact becomes a source of fast mana for a particular deck down the line that will be highly desirable. So there's my 2 cents on it. But yeah, this is part of the trend of Magic the Gathering right now, is that sets come out, the next set comes out, and this is also part of like Edge of Eternities, which I personally, I personally am very excited for, right? But I just learned this week that Edge of Eternities will come out, and then no more than 5 weeks later, literally, I think it's a full month, and then Spider-Man comes out. So you will literally be getting the spoilers for Spider-Man and Edge of Eternities basically at the same time, and
no time to like live with the set, really.
None at all. It's a August release for Edge of Eternities. It is a September release for Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man's a standard legal set, right?
Yep, and so is Edge of Eternities. So,
wow.
Yeah, this is the fastest turnaround I think I've ever seen. And this is like a Edge of Eternities. The description has been like, it's like a space opera set. So I am very much into the Macbeth vibes here. So let's get it. But also, I think this is a great opportunity, and I would not be surprised to see it become a Star Wars set, you know, like a set where they do reskins for, since they already have a contract deal with like, you know, with Marvel and doing a few other things with Disney. It's like, this could be a good opportunity for them to like do secret layers with Star Wars. So I think Edge of Eternities.
I mean, that is going to happen down the line.
Yes.
Right? There's
Absolutely.
not a universe where that doesn't happen.
Not anymore. It's like with Final Fantasy having its own card game, I thought it was untouchable. I thought like that they would just carry their own brand forward with it. But then now, hey, look, I was wrong. There's Magic the Gathering Magic cards or Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy cards. And there will be Magic the Gathering Star Wars cards. It is inevitable at this point. The franchise of Star Wars is too big for Magic the Gathering not to pursue for sales purposes. All right. On today's discussion, we want to talk about building in other formats or just changing your mindset for building decks altogether, right? Giving yourself constraints, giving yourself limitations so that you can flourish as a creative deck builder. And now, while we usually do talk about cEDH and what is possible and at the ceiling of power in Magic the Gathering and in Commander, I want to take a step back and use the tool that has been given to us by the legend, Gavin Verhey, and the CFP, the Commander Format Panel, in the bracket system. So in the bracket system, we're given game changers, right? Things that we can, or cards and the quantity of them that we can use to measure the power of decks that are built. So I've been noticing lately that cEDH has topped out. Like there are very seldomly new decks that come to the forefront. I was very surprised by RAL, you know, to like for Modern Horizons 3 for it to be performing so well lately, and then a few other decks, but it's still Blue Farm. It's still Sisay. It's still Tivit. It's still, you know, like Marnius Calgar is rising, which is great. Love it. Love to see it. But these are decks that have been around, have been competing at that level for a long time, and there's not really a lot of the cEDH isn't very tumultuous, is what I'm trying to say. Is you can come up with a brew and go to the table and maybe sneak out a few wins, but those decks that have proven to put up results over and over, time and time again, year after year, those are the decks that are going to continue to convert. Just the way, it's the nature of the beast at the current moment. So I have been having a lot of fun brewing in a new format that I like to call c3DH. Is that a good name?
Speaking of Star Wars.
Yeah. C3PO, but with a DH instead. C3DH. Competitive bracket 3 commander. And like, I know here, it's contradictory. It's an oxymoron, right? Competitive would imply that I'm playing at a power 5 bracket. But the idea is to limit yourself to 3 game changers, seeing as the game changer list has expanded in the, since, in April was the last announcement, which, man, time flies. But April was the last announcement. The game changer list expanded a little bit. It took away a few options, but it still creates limitations, and still, and the most important thing, it allows you to play cards that aren't scrutinized so heavily, or like cards that are under scrutiny in cEDH. Like, people will just tell you, you can't play that. That's a bad card. You can play them here. You can play them here. And it's so much fun. So the first deck, I helped a friend build. He reached out and he's like, hey, I really like Glarb. I really like seeing that it's like a powerful commander and that it has cEDH potential. I want to make Frog Tribal and I want to make it strong. So I helped him build this monstrosity called Owen's Frog Tank. And it is a beauty. We were talking a little bit about it off record, but you get to play, like, this is a menace deck. So obviously it has enchantments galore, because I think Sanctum Weaver is just the best mana dork to ever exist. For some reason, it's in my brain that it generates a lot of mana when you need it. So
it is certainly capable of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's capable of it. So yeah, it's got like things like Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Enduring Vitality. Like, Enduring Vitality, very much a cEDH card. And like, it's a really strong card. It's really just good. Just really good stuff. And then you get to play the Overlords. Overlord of the Balemerk, Overlord of the Hauntwoods, and these count. And the reason that they're in the deck is because Glarb allows you to cast them for their impending cost off the top of the library. So you can impend an Overlord of the Balemerk for 2 mana just because you have Glarb on the battlefield. You can surveil it to the top and then cast it for 2 mana, even though it says you can only cast spells with mana value 4 or greater. Hey, did you see that text anywhere else in the world ever? Yeah, you see it with things like Up the Beanstalk all the time in Standard. So it's a standard trick that you're getting away with Glarb. The Glarb allows you to manipulate that, and same with Overlord of the Hauntwoods. So the idea being Frog Tribal and wanting to build powerful decks, you can't just have all frogs. There just aren't enough frogs out there, and it just wouldn't make for a very synergistic deck. But you do get to see some really powerful cards like Polywog Prodigy, which a cEDH flunky. It's now being put on the edge of cEDH as a card that doesn't quite do enough or quite do what people expected it would. And so people have strayed away from it for more consistent options, but it finds a home here. I think it's really strong in that c3DH style gameplay. You get Clifftop Lookout, which is not even that great of a card, but it is a frog, and it enters and you reveal cards until you reveal a land and put it onto the battlefield tapped. The thing that I like about it is that you can flicker it with things like Displacer Kitten, or it's just, lands are much more powerful in Commander than they are in Standard. So you have the potential to grab something way better than, maybe a forest or whatever. And then the Rampant Frogantua. Unfamiliar with the card? Well, let me refresh your memory. It is a Modern Horizons 3 Commander card that for 2 and a green, you get a 3/3 trample that says Rampant Frogantua gets +10/+10 for each player who has lost the game. Whenever Rampant Frogantua deals combat damage to a player, you may mill that many cards, put any number of lands from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Wow. That's like, I love it. And I love that it's just a frog and it fits.
It's a frog with high upside.
Yeah. Crazy high upside. So there are a few combos that I built into the deck, like the Valley Flood Color combo with Retraction Helix. I think I put, with Retraction Helix in here, just because Valley Flood Color whenever you cast a non-creature spell, birds, frogs, otters, and rats you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, and then you untap them. And so the value here is huge when you're playing Glarb, who has a tap ability, so you can surveil to look at cards. That's what you're hoping for. Like at the floor, that Valley Flood Caller can allow you to surveil 2 multiple times in a single turn. Awesome. But now we have huge upside and a ceiling when you can use Retraction Helix to bounce a 0 mana artifact like Mox Amber or Lotus Petal or Soul Ring and generate infinite colorless mana and untap Glarb infinitely, go through your entire library, and then also all of your frogs are now infinitely big. Have trample on a rampant Frogantua? Awesome. You're going to get every land in your library. Congratulations. It's, like Valley Flood Caller is a, it's a dangerous card. I think it's awesome though, that it gives you that potential. But then the deck also has Gitrog Monster, since it just so happens to be a frog, right? And then you can use the Gitrog Monster and 6 to discard, like things like Dakmor Salvage, to cast Dark Ritual, to generate infinite mana, to draw your entire library, to then cycle Kozilek or Ulamog until you get infinite mana. You can cast the spells you need to cast and win the game through some type of shenanigans. That's why I didn't like.
You love a shenanigan.
You love a shenanigan, right? This is just it's just this crazy high ceiling. Like there are still combos, and it still meets the requirements of bracket 3. Gitrog Monster and Dakmor Salvage, not a 2-card combo. Just you require a discard outlet as well. So like 3 cards right there, and then you still need a win condition. So what, 4 cards to get through this, to get through the loop, potentially find a win. And then, it's like even the Valley Flood Caller. It's Valley Flood Caller, Retraction Helix, another piece, a 0-drop artifact. So something pretty specific, but the ceiling is high. So we put Villainous Wealth in here as a way to win through Gitrog Monster, which is super fun. You just get to play everyone else's libraries or exile their libraries and then pass the turn. And then, it just has really good interaction. It's just a fun way to play the game. One of the 3 game changers is Force of Will, which is like the deck didn't need a Rhystic. It's like Rhystic, it has Rhystic, but Rhystic Study, the One Ring, Force of Will. It doesn't need any of that other garbage, any of those other garbage game changer cards, but it has those 3. And I think that's also a healthy way to approach the table is like, hey, I'm playing a 3. My 3 game changers are Force of Will, the One Ring, and Rhystic Study.
Is that the etiquette in that format?
Yeah. To be like, hey, these are my game changers just to prove it, like that it is a 3. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. It's like you can also play really fun cards like Head Shredder. So Head Shredder is viable in c3DH. Anyway, it's like building into formats with more restrictions can be a lot of fun. Like Pioneer right now is going to be dominated by Final Fantasy, but there are a lot of it's very much the Wild West. You can still build decks that are fun, combo-tastic, powerful, and then also just, I don't know, you throw it into the format and you just see what happens. You can build it, you can grow it. Standard is very much figured out. I would say Modern is very much figured out, but Pioneer is this middle ground where it's no, there's still a lot of wiggle room here where we can still create, and no one deck or no 3 decks have taken over or are at the top of the meta and have proven to generate, results consistently. So I do think that, even building in a Pioneer can be a lot of fun. But if you're still looking and still interested in building into c3DH, I also built another deck. So while you can build Frog Tribal and make it super duper fun and effective, right? Generate tons of card advantage, have plenty of interaction and tutors and all this stuff, make it super cool. You can also build something goofy and wacky like Zakama, where nobody thinks it can be cEDH, which it can be. I've proven that. I've proven it. Flash, I proved it. I proved it.
Okay, I wasn't arguing with you.
Good. Because you can also make it fun. And c3DH. You get all these dorks. You get all the synergies that you're looking for from a commander in Naya, because Naya got gonna do that cares about lands. It's like Weathered Wayfarer doesn't even count as a tutor card, which on Moxfield. It's like you look at the tutors and it's like Finale, Eladamri, Altar of Bone, Quarter Calling. No Weathered Wayfarer, which is probably the most important repeatable tutor in the deck. But yeah, this lets you go search for your Gaia's Cradle and Sarah's Sanctum, which in this deck, the 3 game changers are Gaia's Cradle, Sarah's Sanctum, and Food Chain. So yeah, it's a food chain deck that doesn't require much else other than, building value to achieve what it needs. So yeah, there's just a ton of same deal Enchantress nonsense, but there's more payoffs for it here. You get to go search for, Moonblessed Cleric is a great way to go find food chain. Academy Rector is not a game changer. So that's crazy to me that Academy Rector is not a game changer. And then, things like, here's the thing that there are a couple cards that I think can be added to the game changer list. Academy Rector is one of them. The other one, Eldritch Evolution. It's so good.
Isn't that a search card? I mean, that's a tutor, right?
It is a tutor, but tutors actually don't count against the bracket system.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is some work to be done in, with the bracket system to have, okay, you can have 5 tutors before it becomes bracket 4 because then the card is just replacing another card, if that makes sense. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh, back in the day when I was playing, there's this card called Upstart Goblin. And what it did was it allowed you just for free draw a card, and then your opponent would gain 1,000 life, which is not a lot in that game. So you'd in that game, life didn't matter, right? Once it was gone, then it mattered. But giving your opponent 1,000, that's nothing. So you would just be like, yeah, here's 1,000. I'll take another card. So that card was exclusively in your deck to take your card from 40 to 37. It just allows you, and that's what these tutors do. These low value tutors in Magic the Gathering, like Mystical Tutor and Vampiric Tutor and stuff like that. They're so low cost that the whole idea is just to replace it is a replacement for a card that you need in the moment. So your deck actually goes from 99 main deck to 94, 90, sometimes less than 90, depending on how many tutors you have, depending on how many efficient tutors you have. So that's kind of the idea. And I think that they should put a little bit of a cap on the number of tutors that qualify. But then you're really we're in a very Wild West scenario here as well with Commander and the bracket system, because they're still figuring it out. But there are no changes that are going to be made until next April. So enjoy it while you can. The idea of this deck, though, the Zakama deck, is, get Food Chain. Get Food Chain with Zakama, bounce in it infinitely, filter all that mana through your lands, and then just spend it on something goofy. Spend it on something ridiculous. Or use it on one of your win conditions, which are lands that nobody cares about. Like Den of the Bugbear is a win condition. Dalkovan Encampment and Shivan Gorge. All win conditions. But at the same time, you get to play goofy things like Possibility Storm or Omen Path Journey, which I never thought I would play. But here we are. It's one of those from the vault, or not from the vault. It's got a vault for the symbol. Gosh. Outlaws of Thunder Junction vault. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Wild West.
Yeah. Hey-oh, the big score. The big score. They should have just called it from the vault. But that I can see how that might confuse people. But yeah, you get to pay really strong stacks pieces as well, since you're not really in cEDH. You're not really in artifacts at all either. So I put Stony Silence in here. I put Root Maze in here because I am that guy. I am awful. That is a disgusting stacks piece. Artifacts and lands come into play tapped for 1 mana. Ugh, gross. But Deafening Silence, Carpet of Flowers, still not a game changer. So you can play it while you can. Archdruid's Charm, great for finding your lands, great for removal, great for a lot of things. But yeah, the enchantment or the interaction package didn't really change much from the cEDH build because none of those cards are game changers. Even Silence isn't a game changer. But yeah, you just, the whole deck fires. It's awesome. I played it a little bit, or I was playtesting a little bit on here after I built it last night. And man, is it just fun to drop an Argothian Enchantress and then play 3 enchantments the next turn and draw 3 cards. Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, I think like this limitation was fun for me to like really expand on and divulge on, and it might be fun for you out there listening who, if you are a regular patron of the show, maybe you are into cEDH but haven't been seeing the success, or maybe the format hasn't gone in the direction that you would hope that has allowed you to see success, or maybe you just haven't had the time to get out and play, but the deck building urge is still there. Then give this a shot. Give building bracket 3 decks a shot, because I'm finding that it is a ton of fun. I can't tell you how, like, I'm finding cards that I never thought I would put into a deck become viable. Like I said, like the Overlords, I really like them. They've been incredibly powerful in Standard. I love when Standard strategies, like I put Overlord of the Hauntwoods in here, and I put Up the Beanstalk in here, because that is like a classic combo in Standard where it's like you drop the Beanstalk and it replaces itself, and then you cast the Overlord for its impending cost the next turn. You draw a card off of it because it's technically 5 mana, but it's impending, so you get the card draw anyway. Dumb stuff like that. Love to see it. Love when it's powerful in Commander. Love when it's powerful anywhere else. But here we go. Yeah, Flash. Any thoughts on building maybe down in power?
No, it just, like you said, it's an interesting deck building challenge, because certain stuff, certain slots that would otherwise be accounted for, like automatically, are now open, and now you get to play other stuff. Yeah,
exactly. Like there's just this pressure in cEDH that if you're in certain colors, you have to play a certain. It's almost like when you pick a commander, half the deck is already decided for you, just based on like results of decks that have existed in the past. And like that to me has taken a lot of fun out of the brewing aspect. And so this is where this is the brewer's delight. Like even if you go above and you take the limitation off, with, in bracket 4. There are no limitations for a number of game changers, but you're the only thing differentiating between bracket 4 and 5 is intention to play in cEDH or not. Like, I think that having the limitation actually creates more creativity. So, yeah, nothing is decided for you. You get to play what you want, and you just kind of get to see what crazy powerful cards are not quite game changers yet. Nothing from Final Fantasy is a game changer yet, which I think Vivi might have deserved an immediate game changer addition. It's been crazy. It is being highlighted as one of the, like, if you wanted to see what an all format all-star looks like, or a multi-format all-star, it's Vivi. That, it is just insane. Like right now in standard, I watched
is it in Nadu territory, do you think?
That's what it's funny you say that, because that's what people are likening it to. They say, or a lot of people are saying they haven't seen anything like this since Nadu. Because it comes down for 3 mana, and man, it is so easy to rack up counters on it. Like in standard, yesterday I saw it was dropping Vivi and then hitting him with a monstrous rage right away. And it's like, that's a +4/+0 on it. And so you just, for 1 mana, because you can activate it the turn it comes out, immediately just ramp back to, you just reset. You basically untapped your lands, because you can use Vivi's mana to cast anything. So cast Vivi, hit it with a monstrous rage. It gets a +1/+1 counter. It gets so it's a +3/+0, and it gets the monstrous roll. And so now you've got 4 mana to use on anything else that you'd like, while still also building Vivi up. So I think it was, so you use that mana, they cast a few more spells, and at the end of the turn, Vivi was a 6/9 or something like that. So like, nice. 1. Super nice. But it was that next turn that it was like, oh yeah, now it's swinging as a 7/10. And then they're down to 3 life, because Vivi's also hitting you for 1 damage every single time. So I think in 20 life formats, Vivi is a menace, which automatically qualifies it for, me liking it. But it is becoming troublesome. It is becoming something that maybe needs to be looked at, because I've seen some crazy stuff with it so far. And it's one deck that Mox Jasper actually gets used in. So maybe that'll boost the price.
In what capacity is Mox Jasper used in that deck?
Oh, it's a donut. Just builds Vivi's power. It's a ramp. So
who's the dragon though in that scenario?
There is no dragon. You just play Vivi, and then if you have multiple Jaspers, you cast it, Vivi gets 1 bigger. There's your mana. And then
gotcha.
Yeah, and then you cast another one. Oh, there's 2 mana. So as long as Vivi exists, the Jasper will generate mana. In quote, I'm doing the Dr. Evil. Generate mana. Quotations in the air. Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of those crazy things. We don't know what it's totally going to do yet, but it is definitely shining at the moment. Almost glaringly bright. All right. Well, if you out there have been brewing in this, is secretly brewing in this c3DH format, this bracket 3, take it to the ceiling type deck building style, let us know in the comments below. Share your deck list with us. Join the Discord server. Drop your deck list in there. And if you're listening to this, I hope it's because you found me at MagicCon, and I hope that you become a subscriber for the show. And I hope that we had a super rad time playing games or just chatting about Magic the Gathering while we were in Vegas. I cannot forget this. I might just edit this, put it at the front of the show. do not forget to give Tyler Jacobson a Dr. Pepper at MagicCon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Do not
Were
forget.
there any other stipulations around that?
No. He likes Dr. Pepper Zero. Like that's what he drinks at home. But he will drink normal Dr. Pepper at cons because it's like, he's away from home. So why not? Live freely. Dr. Pepper, Tyler Jacobson. Take one to him and just say, here, dude. Thank you for all the amazing artwork you've done. You're the greatest fantasy artist of all time. Say those words.
And you have to say it exactly like that.
Yes. And applaud him. And then clap. And then walk away. That's it. Okay. All right. This has been the MoxStars podcast. I hope you, again, have enjoyed the episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can find us on YouTube where you can like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. You can also find us on all major podcasting platforms and most of the minor ones as well. Leave us a 5-star review, make us look super duper cool, and help new people find the show. People who are looking for and seek to digest Magic the Gathering content. You can also support us via Patreon. Woo! Become a Pepperhead. For $3 a month, become an official Pepperhead. Have your name turned Dr. Pepper Red on the Discord server. You can also support us at the Cherry Vanilla Pepperhead tier, the $5 tier, like maybe Anthony, Mono Greg, Jacob Hibbard, Tommy Cypher, K Mr. K, and Will Rule. Get your entry into each of our bi-weekly giveaways. You can also join us at the 2-liter tier, $10 a month, like Definitely Jeremy, Poolboy Barry, UWP Quirt, and Aaron Becca. Get 2 entries into each of our bi-weekly giveaways. And you can also join us at the MoxStars Dr. Pepper Lounge tier, like Reven Lift, for $50 a month. Get 3 entries, get a free hat every single month, and win some giveaways. All right. We're out of here. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this is MoxStars Podcast. Peace.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the bi-weekly giveaway at the end of the show. We are going to shuffle this up 3 times. Remember that the prize here is a mystery something or other from MagicCon Las Vegas. So whatever I pick up will be sent to the winner, and it's going to be a sweet, sweet surprise. So let's go ahead and shuffle this wheel up 1, 2, and 3 times and spin it up. Oh, yeah, it's starting to slow down. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's definitely Jeremy. Definitely Jeremy, congratulations. I'll likely see you on Sunday for your prize. Awesome. Well, thank you all for supporting the show. Thank you all for participating in the bi-weekly giveaways. Remember, if you're not participating, all you got to do is go on Patreon, support us at the $5 tier, the Cherry Vanilla Pepperhead tier to get 1 entry, the 2-liter tier for 2 entries, and the MoxStars Dr. Pepper Lounge for 3 entries. Thank you so much to everybody, and thank you for listening and supporting the show. So, yeah, you're awesome. Peace.